This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Tired of spills and stains on your sofa? WashableSofas.com has your back. Featuring the Anabay collection, the only designer sofa that's machine washable inside and out, where designer quality meets budget-friendly prices. That's right, sofas start at just $699. Enjoy a no-risk experience with pet-friendly, stain-resistant, and changeable slip covers made with performance fabrics. Experience cloud-like comfort with high-resilience foam that's hypoallergenic and never needs fluffing. The sturdy steel frame ensures longevity, and the modular pieces can be rearranged anytime. Check out WashableSofas.com and get up to 60% off your Anabay sofa, backed by a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you're not absolutely in love, send it back for a full refund. No return shipping or restocking fees. Every penny back. Upgrade now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change, and certain restrictions may apply.
A treasure trove of bananas has been stolen, and it's up to Donkey Kong and his buddy Pauline to get them back. This unlikely duo is going on a world-smashing adventure, using DK's destructive abilities to explore an underground world, and the power of Pauline singing to activate wild transformations. Donkey Kong Bonanza, available now. Rated everyone 10 and up, only on Nintendo Switch 2. Game and system sold separately.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity with Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
Oh, no laughing matter. Vikings football is back.
Yes.
And we got your shot at tickets to Sunday's game by showing us your purple preset. Set KFAN as a preset on the iHeartRadio app. Screenshot it and post with hashtag KFAN purple preset to your social media. Make sure to follow and tag KFAN. Winners will be DM'd this Friday. Get the full rules at KFAN.com. Keyword contest.
Speaking of tickets, I had a general manager at a golf course recently tell me this story. He says they had like some type of a tournament out there, scramble event or whatever it was. They were having prizes. First prize was 4 tickets to see the Wild. Second and third prizes were 4 tickets to see the Twins. He says that the second and third place team said, go ahead and keep them. Honest to God, that's what he said. They just said, you can give those to somebody else. We'll pass on those. So think about that. The Wild, of course, they loved it. They took those tickets. But the Twins tickets, because they were for this season.
Oh, this season.
They just said, even next season, who would want them? He says they go, I think we'll just pass on those. So that's where.
I understand.
Yes, I understand as well. So that's where the Twins are as far as the excitement with the fan base, which is basically none. Your Vikings, though, Mark Rosen, you had a spring in your step when you came here into the studio, which is saying something because you got that artificial hip.
I don't have an artificial hip.
What do you have?
You're going to have one sometime
artificial
soon.
Knee. Artificial knee.
That's been 12, I don't know how many years now. My gosh, 13, 14 years ago, I got the artificial knee. Highly recommended if you're having any knee issues. Just do the rehab over and over and over again. Yeah, it was like everybody else. It was an unexpected twist in the game last night when it looked like the Bears were in total control. I've gotten a kick out of seeing all the social media. The Bear fans, I think Viking fans have been miserable. The Bears celebrated, their 40th anniversary of 85 team. Am I doing meat sauce math right? They had everyone who was there.
The 85 Bears. Well, you know what? Early in the game, it looked like Chicago had the 85 Bears. We had the 11 chairs.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was about as dreadful a start as you could imagine from every aspect of the game. And it looked like it was, the Chicago wasn't necessarily going to run away with it, but they were firmly in control. And I think all the fans today, it's as if the sky has fallen. I know. And we always preface everything by the wins or the losses in the early, it's only one game. It's only the first game of the season. this is the Bear pundits and fan base today. They're going, here we go again. The same old Bears. We got a new head coach. We got this exciting offensive scheme, but Caleb Williams can't get the job done. He's overthrowing receivers, doing this, doing that, and it's all like the sky is falling. Now they play the Lions this week in Motor City, so that'll be an interesting game of 0-1 teams to see which team is going to bounce back. I think it'll be Detroit, but Caleb Williams is a perfect example. Number 1 overall pick. He's supposed to be flourishing, and he started out like a house of fire, 10 out of 10, and the Bears they scored a touchdown on the first drive, which I don't think they ever did last year. And it looked like this is going to be a long night for Minnesota. The Vikings defense was kind of a step behind. They weren't really being real aggressive. Nothing was working. Obviously, offensively, they couldn't run the ball. McCarthy was out of sync. Everything was just not working. And we all know what happened.
He didn't have a lot of time to throw. And even when he did, he wasn't making the throws.
No, he wasn't. He looked like he was making his first significant start in 600 some days, as everyone's been talking about today. That since the Michigan National Championship game, he hadn't started a significant game. But after that pick 6, which was just a killer, you think that's the end of the game. I think most everyone thought it's over. I mean, they're not going to Vikings. They can barely cross midfield right now, and we know what happened. And McCarthy took over. The defense took over, and roundly deserved to win that game. They had some other contributions, special teams, the 59-yard field goal by Will the Thrill. Miles Price doing a really nice job returning kicks.
He had, really 4 or 5 kicks that were over 10 yards. One was 18, one was 21, and a 50. I mean, you don't see that often. No. You might get one of those again. Now, again, it could be beginner's luck, just the just a happenstance. But you don't see, I don't think, double-digit returns like 4 times in a game.
Well, the rules changed, obviously.
Yes.
So that is added a lot to the game now, where every single time would be anticlimactic when the kickoff to start the game, the boom, and as PA likes to call it, and then the ball would sail through the end zone, and the receivers would put his hands outstretched like that, and they get the ball to 30-yard line. We're off and running. Now, there's an incentive to kick the ball not into the end zone, but near the end zone, and then you can get your returns, and it opens up the game a little bit. Now, the Bears really messed up, as we know, at the end of the game. Not that, who knows if that would have mattered. It may not have at all, given the fact they were struggling, but they needed to kick that ball out of bounds. I mean, right. that last kickoff. And
so I said the same thing. I had someone tweet me that apparently the Vikings could decline that.
I don't think they could.
So I don't know.
I looked. I saw the rule, and I might be wrong. I thought I read it that you cannot have them re-kick it.
If you are correct in the rule, then yes, they made a big mistake.
Yeah, and then it was such a great shot. Ty Chandler catching the ball 5-6 yards deep in the end zone, and then looking over at KOC, and KOC's frantically waving him, come out of the end zone.
Let me play devil's advocate, and this was brought up by a text messenger. What if Chandler gets hit and fumbles the football and the Bears recover it? I mean,
you got to take that risk, though, to kill that clock.
I know, but I'm just saying,
sure.
I'm not saying that was a bad job. I'm just saying that could have happened. That's the one danger of doing that.
But you can do that anytime you're handing the ball off.
But I'm just saying, it wasn't like it was foolproof. There was a risk to that as well.
There's a risk to that, but not as big a risk as making sure that you go past the 2-minute warning.
I don't even think that would have made that much, because how much time would they have had left had they?
It's like an extra 40 seconds.
Probably 45 seconds.
Yeah, that's.
Well, I know, but it's still.
It is.
They would have just get to field goal range. So they didn't have to score a touchdown.
Well,
did you watch that Bears defense or offense? They weren't going to get.
No, probably not.
Not a chance.
Well, and that's the problem. It comes back to. Caleb and Williams and what all the issues he had last year, and they were magnified. And Ben Johnson's been pretty open about some of the issues that Caleb Williams has had in training camp, and and they had how many penalties? They had like 4 or 5 false starts, and they were a mess. They were not hardly in sync, and that's not. I've said this over and over and over again. Even the Vikings, these guys, we know most of the starters don't play at all, or play maybe 1 quarter of one preseason game. And all of a sudden, you get into a game like last night or what we saw over the weekend. We had some wild, fluctuations in scores. Obviously, the Buffalo-Baltimore game being king of the hill. But a lot of these guys, I think someone made the point today, the Bears defense looked exhausted at the end of the game. And I'm not saying they're in bad shape, but they were on the field. They haven't been on the field at all.
You know what I think it was? More than being exhausted? I mean, again, and I usually don't buy into this legendary, you're in the huddle and the kid goes, where else would you rather? It almost sounds like a bad B movie, right? But the Vikings at that point it just seemed like they had, I don't want to say more energy, but they out-physicaled the Bears at that point. And maybe the Bears were tired some. I just think the Vikings at that point said, we got a chance here, and I think that inspired them to they just beat them at the line of scrimmage is what they
everything did. Momentum is JJ meaning Justin Jefferson talked about at the game. And momentum is a great word, and we use it all the time in sports. But there's some truism to it, if that's the right word, truth to it, because the Vikings, you could tell, just had a little extra spring in their step on both sides of the ball. Offensive line, defensive line got after Caleb. Once they got that, when McCarthy scored that touchdown and that run-pass option play, that was kind of it. They went after Caleb, and he did not have much of a chance. And I think, in summarizing McCarthy, and I'm not the first or last to say it, but he experienced everything last night, and this is why it was so important from my perspective that he needed to play last night. He experienced everything that a young quarterback probably will experience. I mean, especially the downs. For him to be as down as he was, I mean, at the point of throwing that pick six, and everybody at that point, Viking fans were going, turn the TV off. Why didn't we sign Aaron Rodgers? Why didn't we do this? Why didn't we do that? This kid, looks lost out there, the national perspective, and to kind of get himself off the mat and do the things he needed to do last night. That is, in a nutshell, what a first-year quarterback. He learned more just from struggling, I think, as much as he did from his successes last night. And that, how much that'll carry over, who knows? They play Atlanta here Sunday night. I think he'll be more relaxed. I think he'll be more into it. But he won that locker room over last night. He won that locker room, not completely. By his performance late in that game. I mean, he was unaffected. You could tell he's played in big games before, and he didn't let that pick six get him down to the point where. I think they're going to pummel Atlanta. Atlanta's not very good now. Well,
let's we got to say it.
Sure.
There was a couple of calls that went in the Vikings' favor, and one was a very critical call.
Which one was that?
Well, when the Vikings had a 3rd and 1, and they couldn't stop the blitz when they sent the house, and McCarthy just threw it away. And then all of a sudden, the phantom call on the pass interference on.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty weak.
Well, it was. There's no way that was pass interference. So again. Vikings get a first down on it. It would have been 4th and 1. Now, that doesn't mean, the Bears win the game, because as Tenneby and I talked about, you're at 4th and 1 at that point. Do you kick a field goal to cut it? There were still 9 minutes to go, 9.5. Do you cut it to 17-15, or do you go for it? And Ten and I both believe, and we'll never know, that the coach probably would have went for it because they had momentum on their side. They're fairly deep in Bears territory, and it's like it's a yard. Everybody goes for it now. Hell, guys are going for it on 4th and 3, 4th and 2. So I think they would have, but that was a call that should have been. And let's say they would have went for it and didn't get it, the whole complexion of the game changes. But I think they probably would have went for it, probably would have got the first down anyways. But I tweeted that out last night. I said every team in the National Football League, hundreds of times have been the beneficiaries of blown calls, and they've also been jobbed by bad calls. So what goes around comes around. So let's do this. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We got more to get to. I have to ask Rosie about his Gophers Club, a dominating performance. Why are they not others getting votes, at least, if not in the top 25?
That's a ridiculous conversation.
They dominated 66-0. Yeah. They should at least be those receiving votes.
They could have got to 100 if they wanted to.
Yes.
So what was the point?
We'll talk about that. Yeah. We got plenty to get to, plenty of ground to cover with Common Tenneby and the legendary Mark Rosen right here on The Fan.
Time for a sofa upgrade? Visit WashableSofas.com and discover Anabay, where designer style meets budget-friendly prices, with sofas starting at $699. Anabay brings you the ultimate in furniture innovation with a modular design that allows you to rearrange your space effortlessly. Perfect for both small and large spaces, Anabay is the only machine-washable sofa inside and out. Say goodbye to stains and messes with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics that make cleaning easy. Liquid simply slides right off, Designed for custom comfort, our high-resilience foam lets you choose between a sink-in feel or a supportive memory foam blend. Plus, our pet-friendly, stain-resistant fabrics ensure your sofa stays beautiful for years. Don't compromise quality for price. Visit WashableSofas.com to upgrade your living space today with no-risk returns and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Get up to 60% off plus free shipping and free returns. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
A treasure trove of bananas has been stolen, and it's up to Donkey Kong and his buddy Pauline to get them back. This unlikely duo is going on a world-smashing adventure, using DK's destructive abilities to explore an underground world, and the power of Pauline singing to activate wild transformations. Donkey Kong Bonanza, available now. Rated everyone 10 and up, only on Nintendo Switch 2. Game and system sold separately.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity with Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
The 2025 NFL season is underway. Don't miss your chance to be a part of the action. Tickets to all regular season games are on sale now. Be there live to support your favorite team. See every epic showdown, every classic rivalry, and every primetime game. 17 games for all 32 teams. Visit NFL.com/tickets to purchase tickets today. Verified tickets are available through the NFL Ticket Network, including Ticketmaster, SeatGeek, and Sports Illustrated Tickets.
The Power Trip is headed back to the island. Join the guys at Treasure Island September 18th and 19th for 2 shows and parlay full of games, tons of laughs, and great prizes, including 2 trips to Las Vegas with the show in October. Use the promo code KFAN when you book your stay to save 20%. Get the full details now at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
So it certainly wasn't for a lack of effort. And while the Vikings had all sorts of trouble corralling Caleb Williams, it's a little deceptive, I think, because I think they were putting pressure on him. It's just his escapability. Because they finally got to him and got a couple of sacks. Hardraven, did he end up with 2 sacks?
I believe he did. Yeah.
I think he ended up with 2. Yeah. And they, you could say they weren't getting any pressure on him. I actually think they were.
They were.
But his ability, I mean, it's on. He's like Harry Houdini. I mean, there were 3 or 4
impressive.
times,
yeah,
at least 3 or 4, if not 5 times, where you said, well, they got him dead to rights, and he would do some kind of a spin move, and he would duck here, duck there, and next thing you know, guys running for 5, 6, 8 yards, or at least getting out of trouble and throwing the ball away.
Yeah, and, it cost Blake Cashman a hamstring injury, chasing him down, and we don't know the severity. Remember, Cashman missed some time last year, but fortunately, Eric Wilson's came in his stead and played outstanding late in the game, and he's a nice addition to this team, and we'll see what Blake's situation is, but I'm hopeful, I think everyone is, that he came closest to starting last night, and getting Christian Darrisaw back on Sunday night would be phenomenal. I mean, I don't know. I know KOC was on with PA today. I didn't get a chance to hear much of it. But Darrisaw was working out on the field beforehand. I don't know if the decision was made because of the field conditions or if it's like, let's give him another week. But getting him back in that offensive line will be absolutely, goes without saying, will be huge. And then, of course, you got to wait 2 more weeks for getting Jordan Addison back in the lineup. And given how J.J. McCarthy and Addison had connected so well in training camp, and even more so than he and Jefferson, I mean, it's going to be a real welcome addition to this lineup to get both those guys back. In particular, both of them, Darrisaw and Addison in Dublin when they play a few weeks from now against Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers.
Yeah, the Vikings traded for Thielen, not much of a factor last night. He, I think, matter of fact, he had a drop. But
he did have 1 drop.
But did he get the 2-point conversion?
He got the 2-point conversion.
He did get that.
He did. Just his presence helped a lot. And Naylor made that big catch, actually, that set up the 59-yard field goal by Reichert. I mean, that was a huge play. at that time because it looked like, again, every point counted. And that was the first time we saw, McCarthy kind of air it out a little bit they got that one penalty. He threw a deep ball to Aaron Jones. He got a 36-yard penalty on it. And that's a play we saw when we were in training camp. And then the touchdown was one we saw. I think we were broadcasting that day when McCarthy threw that ball exactly down that same sideline to Aaron Jones for a training camp touchdown, and we saw it duplicated last night, perfectly executed. And it's nice to have that kind of 1-2 punch, and we'll see even more of that as time goes on. Aaron Jones is a receiver, and Jordan Mason, as the game wore on and the Bears defense wore out, Mason became even a bigger factor. He got some big chunks of yardage, which really helped work the clock a lot last night.
He was the better back last night of the two. And what was the carries between the two of them? Do you have any numbers in front of you? Because I didn't.
I have it.
How many did Jones have, and how many did?
Let's see. Mason 15 carries for 68 yards, and. Jones had 8 carries, 23 yards. So he didn't his longest. He had a 9-yard run. That was his longest. But Mason had more carries, more yards.
Now it could just be the nature of the game. We don't know. I mean, if you took just last night's game at face value, it looks like Mason's going to be the number one guy. But you face different teams in different situations. So we'll see how that goes.
Right.
But what I think it's sort of like. And, Detroit wasn't the first team to do it, but when you have two backs, especially when they're a little different in how they run, you have Gibbs, who's, he's a speed merchant, and then you have Montgomery who gets the tough yards.
Right.
You go back, you look at a lot of the great teams. I mean, you go back to the Green Bay teams of the olden days when they had Horning and Taylor.
That was back before they threw the ball. Having
two running backs that are both, that can complement each other and can give another guy a spell. I think it's critically important. It's Derrick Henry. If you got a guy like that can carry the ball a lot, but it's still that's a long season, 17 games to take a beating like that. So it was a nice Vikings debut for the running back too.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see the value and why they acquired him, and made a point to saying we're going to split the carries, and Aaron Jones. It's getting longer in the tooth, but still, as we saw last night, extremely valuable. And I think the Vikings also miss, and it's going to be a couple weeks. Not many teams use fullbacks anymore, but C.J. Ham's on the injured list, and he's underappreciated. He makes the Pro Bowl all the time. Not that many fullbacks, but his presence in that backfield to add another body who knows how to block to give J.J. McCarthy more time will be extremely valuable as the season goes on.
There was a lot of conversation since the Vikings acquired some interior offensive linemen. About how they were hoping that would improve pass protection and open up holes. Early on, it didn't look like it was. McCarthy was under siege for a lot of that first half, and even in the third quarter, Vikings were having trouble running the ball. But then the offensive line, we just talked about how the Bears seemed to be getting pushed around a little in that game. So I think early on it looked like, well, why were we so excited about them? But they were pretty good late.
Well, and I think a lot of credit. We don't talk about offensive linemen that much anyway. But Donovan Jackson, the rookie,
you like that kid, don't you?
Well, how can you not? And when he gets Darisaw back on that left side of the line, and what's the kid's name? Schooley, Justin Schooley, who played left tackle, and he got beat a few times. And he got better. He got better in the second half, like everybody did, but. On the fourth quarter. But Donovan Jackson, it looks like he's got a long, prosperous career ahead of him. That was a great pick. And I thought, my guy Dallas Turner had some impact last night as the game wore on as well. I'm anxious to see how he continues to develop.
You like that kid, don't you?
I really do. And I think he's, he didn't have obviously his rookie year was kind of forgettable. He wasn't ready really for the league, I don't think, but he's gotten stronger and a little smarter about what he needs to do. And, they got some options there, but I think there's a lot of good things that happened, especially in that fourth quarter. It looked like
I think Hargrave and Allen probably had more quarterback pressures last night than our inside guys did last year. All of last year, they were effective.
Yeah, so
they flushed.
And you're right. It's a point. It wasn't as if Caleb was sitting back on the rocking chair.
No.
He was running for his life even from the get-go.
Yeah.
And his escapability was very impressive. Unfortunately, late in the game, again, he's dealing with the slings and arrows of the Chicago media today because his inaccuracies at the most inopportune times late in the game kind of brought back, awful memories of Caleb from a year ago when he started every game as a rookie. So, he's going through a lot, and Ben Johnson has his work cut out for him to kind of get things straightened out in a hurry. You've talked about it. I mean, one of these teams, the Lions or the Bears, are going to be 0-2 on Sunday, and it makes it a lot more difficult. Percentages speak for themselves.
I think both are going to be 0-2.
What are you talking about? Play each other.
Oh, they do? Oh, thank gosh! Only the Lions will be 0-2 then.
No, they won't.
Somebody's always got to go.
Yeah, somebody's always got to go.
I think the Lions will bounce back.
Where's it at?
It's in the kitty. It's
in
the litter box.
Yeah, they should win. I would hope. I would hope.
Well, you'd think so.
Let's do this. Let's take a break and come back and talk a little more Vikings and a couple of other topics with the legendary Mark Rosen along with Tenna and Comment here on the Fan.
Time for a sofa upgrade? Visit WashableSofas.com and discover Anabay, where designer style meets budget-friendly prices, with sofas starting at $699. Anabay brings you the ultimate in furniture innovation with a modular design that allows you to rearrange your space effortlessly. Perfect for both small and large spaces, Anabay is the only machine-washable sofa inside and out. Say goodbye to stains and messes with liquid and stain-resistant fabrics that make cleaning easy. Liquid simply slides right off. Designed for custom comfort, our high-resilience foam lets you choose between a sink-in feel or a supportive memory foam blend. Plus, our pet-friendly, stain-resistant fabrics ensure your sofa stays beautiful for years. Don't compromise quality for price. Visit WashableSofas.com to upgrade your living space today with no-risk returns and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Get up to 60% off plus free shipping and free returns. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
A treasure trove of bananas has been stolen, and it's up to Donkey Kong and his buddy Pauline to get them back. This unlikely duo is going on a world-smashing adventure, using DK's destructive abilities to explore an underground world, and the power of Pauline singing to activate wild transformations. Donkey Kong Bonanza, available now. Rated everyone 10 and up, only on Nintendo Switch 2. Game and system sold separately.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity with Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance. It keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
The 2025 NFL season is underway. Don't miss your chance to be a part of the action. Tickets to all regular season games are on sale now. Be there live to support your favorite team. See every epic showdown, every classic rivalry, and every primetime game. 17 games for all 32 teams. Visit NFL.com/tickets to purchase tickets today. Verified tickets are available through the NFL Ticket Network, including Ticketmaster, SeatGeek, and Sports Illustrated tickets.
Kick off the 2025 season of Minnesota Vikings at U.S. Bank Stadium with a kickoff concert from Russell Dickerson before the home opener when the Vikings play the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday, September 14th. It is a free concert in Commons Park outside U.S. Bank Stadium, presented by Miller Lite. Get the full details now at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Something called GoLongTD.com wrote a piece. The emailer tipped me off to this. This was a story about Bears quarterback Caleb Williams. It was published on the 5th of September. And I love Ryan, who sent it to me, because instead of sending me the whole article and having to, I just don't have the time or the patience to go through it.
To read all of it.
He picked out some of the highlights, including this is what this article says. Caleb Williams complained last year that he was not getting prepped properly for his games from his coaches, calling them out and essentially getting the staff fired. 32 anonymous sources were asked about the situation and completely rebuffed that accusation. Williams struggled in Friday practices, often calling wrong plays and formations, basically unable to understand the offense. Also unable to properly motion receivers for plays. Kind of looked like that last night if you were watching the game.
A couple times it sure did.
Williams refused to listen to coaches on the sidelines and blew off lift and film sessions. Multiple receivers asked that Williams be benched because of his inability to be ready for game day. Now, again, some people have said no, but, you wonder how much of it's true, how much of it's not. He certainly looks as though, we watched last year. I thought a lot of it had to do with his lack of protection with the Bears' offensive line, which is, I think, one of the reasons they addressed that issue and signed some linemen. But that's why you never really know what you're going to get when you draft young kids, no matter how good they've been in college or whatever the case may be. Now, I wouldn't give up on this kid. He's got an immense amount of talent, but. He has been, he was, last night he had his moments, but there were times where he looked completely
I don't know if this is the same piece that there was like a 3-part series on.
That's the one, yeah.
That was it, dysfunction of Caleb Williams. And, Ryan Poles, the GM, did not hesitate at all. I mean, I think it was an extreme amount of pressure. We all know there was quite a few really good quarterbacks, including Drake May and our guy, J.J. McCarthy and Penix and, that were available, and
Jaden Daniels is pretty good.
Jaden Daniels worked out pretty well. Yeah, really he sure did. But the Bears did not hesitate at all in taking Caleb, and he was a consensus number 1 pick, and they're going to ride him. And that's you got to be surrounded by a lot of smart people, and to get the most out of them, and not just coaching staff, but players, the whole front office. It's a difficult combination to look at, and and now it cost the head coach his job, and now they brought in Ben Johnson for all the right reasons, paid him a ton of money to kind of straighten out that offense and get in Detroit Lion-like fashion of the last couple of years to have Caleb to become kind of the next golden child and look like and again we saw his athletic ability. My God, you're talking about the first quarter, that pass he threw to Odense down the sideline. Whew. And plus escaping the rush, that was a fastball that Nolan Ryan would have been proud of. It was on the money, but he needs to do a lot more than that. And that was a problem, and that's been the problem for the Bears. And this is why they're already teetering a little bit in the minds of a lot of people, because if he doesn't improve,
they're done.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I don't expect them.
I'm writing them off after week 1, and I'm not a knee-jerk reaction guy by any stretch of the imagination.
No, of course not. But the Lions are irritated. They're pissed off. They want to. They have to come back after getting humiliated by the Packers, and they're playing at home, and they have to prove that what happened in Green Bay last week was more of a fluke than anything else. That they are still a formidable team, and you look for them to take it out on the Bears, but. Man, that's an interesting.
I watched Campbell's news conference afterwards.
Yeah.
He had the news conference, and I get a kick out of watching him. He's just he's a football coach, right?
He's a character.
I just love what he'll always take his baseball cap out and run his fingers through his hair and pull it back down. He talks a little bit like Jesse, but a couple of things he said I do tend to agree with. He said, the offensive line wasn't particularly good, but they're all new. And so he said. It's a work in progress, and as the longer they work together, the better. Now, that's what he's hoping. It doesn't guarantee it, but there's some truth to that when you have guys that have never played together. But that was not a good performance by the Kitties in any way, shape, or form. Though, as I talked about this, I think, with Tenney yesterday. If you looked at time of possession only, you'd say, well, Detroit must have won the game because they controlled the ball for not quite twice as much. But that's because Green Bay was able to move the ball rather quickly down the field. Detroit was able to get into the red zone on a couple of occasions, but they couldn't finish it. Green Bay stiffened defensively, and Detroit just had to settle.
Well, it's sort of they played like a lot of us thought they might in the first game because of losing the coordinators and not having that same feel. And I mentioned to you, I thought I still think that their 2-year kind of window that they had wide open, and just could not cash in at the end, especially blowing that big 14-point lead at halftime to get to the Super Bowl. It's hard to duplicate that. It's just really, really tough. And they're going to win a bunch of games. I don't.
They are.
Yes, they're going to win. They're too good. Starting Sunday, they're going to win. They're not going to lose to the Bears at home.
So they go 1-16. Then.
No, they're not going to go 1-16.
I'm about to say something controversial.
That's interesting.
when the dust settles Sunday, the Vikings will be in sole possession of first place in the NFC.
Oh, my gosh.
I think Washington goes in Curly and wins that game.
Thursday night. That'll be there's some great games. I may be too high on Washington, but I like that club a lot. Yeah,
and what's not to like, right?
What's not to like is
the best young quarterback in the league this side of J.J. McCarthy, of course.
Yeah.
But he's terrific. They play offense, defense, special teams.
Well, the NFL's starting out with a bang, with a banner weekend, and all the way through last night's fourth quarter. Even from a neutral fan standpoint, I mean, they go, well, that was fun to watch. We've heard all about J.J. McCarthy, and look what he did in the fourth quarter after the Vikings did nothing for 3 quarters. And obviously the Baltimore-Buffalo game and a bunch of other ones. And this week you got Eagles and the Chiefs. You got Washington and Green Bay. You got some great matchups, already going on first couple of weeks of the season. But it does become, you can feel it because we talk about this all the time. It's a pressure cooker for all these coaches and the players because you have those 6 days and there's nothing with the number of media that covers their teams now. Every little detail gets pushed out there, and it's like, panic mode, hit the button. It's game one, but it doesn't seem to matter. Everyone has their opinions already about the direction of the team that they've been covering or watching and how it's going to go. I mean, had the Vikings not pulled off that fourth quarter last night, it would have been obviously a different narrative today.
Oh gosh!
But here you go with the kid going back, and they build it up. It's Monday Night Football. They got pictures of him as a little kid going to Soldier Field, watching Adrian Peterson run for 200 yards. I mean, he's dealing with all this stuff, and he's
loved that, didn't you?
Well, of course. How can you not? But it's also a lot of stuff on him. And his first
game, he was under
a
lot of pressure.
Well, I think he played like early on. I think he felt naturally you'd have to feel something.
It's just a kid's game.
But for him, I think he looked at it that way. That's why he got in the huddle and said what he said. Where else would you rather be?
They're just highly played. Yeah. Well, where else would you rather be?
Yeah, exactly.
Right now.
Oh, pretty much anywhere.
Well, I don't think you are kidding. Tenneby said the same thing earlier.
He said the same thing?
Yeah.
You asked him that same question?
I said no comment.
Yeah, he said, by no comment.
By no comment, it is a comment. No,
that's fine.
I'm happy I'm here, comment. I very much enjoy working with you, even though you're crazy. But that's all right.
I'm about to say something controversial.
That's interesting.
I think you just give the Oklahoma City Thunder the championship trophy for this year as well. Where did
that come from?
I don't know. You're wearing your Timberwolves.
Well, I know it.
He's got a Timberwolves jacket on.
Well, I just grabbed it from the closet.
Every time he comes in, he's got a different. Are the only jackets you have team logo?
These are
have you ever gone to a sporting goods store and got one without a team logo?
Yes, of course I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
I have a couple of those.
Because doesn't training camp start in a week or two?
You're wearing a Vikings cap.
Well, yeah,
I've never seen you wearing a purple cap before.
Love this club.
Where's your Lions? You love this club. You love this club. You're the fraud.
What do you mean? I love this.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing I want to tell you.
What you saw last night.
Here's the thing I want to tell you.
Okay.
You always talk about the esoteric approach.
Yeah.
The situation with you though, the conventional wisdom is where you are at because you wanted Aaron Rodgers. And you told me that in text after text after text, and. Nothing against Aaron. I like to kid him like we all do. He may have a very good season at 41. He might be that Brett Favre-like, he's a great organization, great head coach. He's got something left in the tank. He's got a lot to prove. The Jets said goodbye to him. He beat them last week. The Vikings are going to see him in a couple of weeks. But the conventional wisdom was sign Aaron Rodgers. We'll let McCarthy sit for a while. And then I'm watching a game last night going, this is exactly why they didn't have a starting quarterback when they signed Favre. They got J.J. McCarthy, and exactly what happened last night. He had to deal with a lot of disappointment, a lot of frustration, a lot of skittishness early on, and then he comes roaring back in the fourth quarter.
You like this McCarthy kid?
I think the lesson learned that he had last night, it's going to serve him well. The disappointment is going to serve him as much as the excitement of his rally in the fourth quarter. Dealing with all that stuff. And if you have Aaron Rodgers out there, he's sitting with a clipboard on the sidelines.
Let me ask you a question. Who do you think who will have a better season, the Steelers or the Vikings?
Vikings.
Tenneby?
Record-wise?
Who do you think will have a better season, Steelers or the Vikings?
The Vikings.
I'll go Vikings.
No.
Oh, he wants the bet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Bet.
Yes.
I think this is how confident I am.
Okay. Listen, I'm a Steeler guy.
$6.
What?
That's a big bet for me. That's how confident I am in the Steelers.
On top of the 12 you already owe me.
You're correct. Do I still owe you that?
Yes. We have the Brewers bet, though, so that's coming up pretty soon.
And what is that Brewers bet?
I think they have to reach the NLCS or something. I think.
And I win or you win. Did I take the Brewers?
No, you took the Brewers.
I couldn't remember. I can't. I get confused in my bets.
I know.
I forget who I
know. No, that's fine.
So we're on for $6. Power trip bets, closed circuit, $6.
God. Don't put that out there.
I got Steelers making a better record than the Vikings.
Okay. All right. That's a big, hefty bet for you.
Why are the Gophers not getting any respect nationally?
Well, after they beat Cal, they will. Remember, you asked me how they get. This is the one I did hesitate over because they're
You said they'd beat them because they had success against the other two California. That was your logic.
Well, because they beat USC and
they beat UC and UCLA. So I'll pick them because they had success.
I know nothing about California. I saw about a quarter of their game. They have a young, I think, left-handed quarterback.
A former Viking quarterback played college at Cal.
What's that?
Wasn't that Joe Cat?
Yeah.
Didn't he play for California in college?
He coached too out there. Yeah.
40 for 60 and 7.
No, he was a character, and I'm so happy I got to know him. Do you think J.J. McCarthy will end up being a better quarterback than Joe Cap? Oh my God, yeah. Joe Cap was. I mean, he was kind of a flash in the pan.
I love Joe.
Well, so did I. I mean, he couldn't throw the ball from here to the wall over there. Most of the time, it would be a flutter. And he ran like a guy who just got out of a bar at 1 a.m. Do you think J.J. McCarthy will end up being a better quarterback than Sir Francis Tarkenton? Well, I don't know how you measure better. I mean, first of all, he was the first one. That was an interesting stat last night. The first quarterback to throw 2 touchdown passes in his first NFL game since Fran Tarkenton did it in the first game of the history of this Vikings franchise against the Chicago Bears when they upset the Bears in one of the biggest upsets in the history of this franchise. And they beat Papa Hallis in the Chicago Bears. I mean, listen, Fran was, you're talking how many years that he played the game in a Hall of Fame career. It's pretty hard to duplicate that. The only way you do that is by winning the big game. If you lead this team to a championship, then people will talk about you. But that's you got years of you have to prove of playing at that kind of level. And Fran was so good at it for many, many years. Even though he got traded to the Giants for a little while because he and Van Brocklin hated each other. So I think McCarthy, they ought to change his jersey to 10. Well, I think Tommy Kramer's enjoying it right now with number 9. Number 9? Number 10 is retired. They can't. Oh, really? Yeah. I didn't know the Vikings had done that. Yes. He's in the Ring of Honor. So if you get in the Ring of Honor, they retire your numbers out of the works? I believe so. Yeah. They're honoring Jared Allen this weekend. I know that. Jared Allen, the Hall of Fame. Just got the Hall of Fame. Yeah, he's back this week, and the next week's a big one. I'm very excited about to take part in the. It's a Legends weekend, and they're having all these guys coming back, and they're going to honor Jim Marshall. We're having a big Thursday night program, and I'm very excited, very honored to be a part of all that. To honor the captain. But yeah, this weekend is, I think it's Jared Allen weekend. And they said during the game, which will be fun. Sunday night football. Yeah. Yeah, the calf roper. What else you got? I'm still annoyed at the Gopher. That's a big win. Well, okay, it's just you can't be serious, Clark. Yeah, I tried. You don't make your sketch. No, I guess you do make. Well, I mean, it was. Even PJ had to put a spin on it of some sort. I got all those guys that had a chance to play. If we counted them, Chicken Jansky played. I know your buddy Max. Yeah. And the third string quarterback. Yeah. And I think the guy the walk-on, who used to be the equipment manager, got a chance to play. They let one of the beer vendors play. I think they're calling people from the stands. He threw a couple passes. I bet if they had some, I don't know what they used to call them over there. Not the Pro-Am. What am I thinking of? No, what is wrong with me? I'm like you. You're getting old. My brain is. Anyway, somebody from like a rec league. They could have probably signed someone off the campus and had him come out and put a uniform on it. It probably would have contributed.
Who do you like in the WNBA finals? Do you think the Lynx are going to win it this year?
They should. Yeah, I think. I was looking at the standings the other day. They I think the playoffs start Sunday.
Yep.
They play Indiana tonight. Clark's out for the year, of course, which hurts the league. Hurts, but you know what I read? A little bit. A
lot of people were saying that, but you know what I read? They're still getting the same numbers without her.
In terms of what? TV or?
TV.
I'm surprised.
People attending games.
I'm happy to hear that.
They're starting to, it's more than just, and I'm not saying she shouldn't get a lot of credit for the success of the league because she's, because she turned it on its ball. But apparently, at least what I read, I don't know, again, I didn't break down the numbers. It was just what I saw in a story that was claiming, even with her having not played, they're still getting the same amount of viewers and the same amount of attendance and such.
Well, hopefully it ramps, and it will. I'm sure they're going to draw really well for their home games here, but, it'd be nice to see them get their revenge on the Liberty. That would certainly draw, again, from a national perspective. I think people go, oh, yeah, I remember what happened with that. In Minnesota, Cheryl Reeves, I don't care what I know she'd say, it doesn't matter who we play, and it really doesn't, but that would be sweet revenge. They took it out and got the title back from the Liberty. So, there you go. What else were they going to talk to you about? Is Kaprizov
I'd be a little worried about the Lynx, actually, because right now they are set up to play the Seattle Storm, who have beaten them twice this season.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh.
That's a new season.
And after their last lawsuit, one of the gals on the Seattle Storm mocked the electric slide that the Lynx do after their game.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Those them are fighting words.
I don't think those two teams.
They don't like each other.
They don't like each other very much.
Well, they do. They do not. But that's okay as long as they keep it. That's part of the lure of rivalries. You want to have that happen. There's nothing wrong with that. Beat them on point at the scoreboard. That's what's always the best revenge you can have. And leaving the arena, just point.
Yeah. It's always one of my favorites. So what are you doing this weekend? What do you got coming up?
I don't know, really, because we have, Sunday I have a lot of stuff going on with the game and everything, but I don't know what we have. We have Karen's got a good friend in town tonight.
Was she in Chicago?
No, she did not go to Chicago. She was, here's what happened last night. I don't know if you ever had a situation like this. She gets real nervous watching a game, my wife, and so I'm watching in my den, and we have like 3 TVs, right, or whatever.
3?
Well, one in the living room, one in yeah, okay.
I've got 4.
She went to the bedroom to watch because she gets nervous.
Really?
Her TV was like the signal was 30 seconds ahead of what I was watching.
Oh,
so one time she was it was on the interception that McCarthy threw. I heard her scream, "No!" I went, "Wait, what you?" And then I said, "You can't do that. Either you're going to watch the game in here with me, or you got to stay silent." For what?
Well, there are only 6 numbers retired. The Ring of Honor has like 20 guys. Do you know which numbers have been retired?
Tarkenton.
Yeah.
Page.
Correct.
Who am I thinking? I'm trying to think.
You don't have much time.
I know. I'm running out of time here. Marshall.
Correct. You have 3 more. Can you get them?
I don't know.
Tingelhoff.
Oh, Tingelhoff.
Stringer. And CC.
Oh, not everybody gets in the Ring of Honor. They run out of numbers.
Yeah. We have a lot of Ring of Honor guys.
They do.
Good to see you.
Yeah,
You'll
fun.
be back tomorrow, I would assume.
I will indeed.
So we'll see you at 2. Brian Oak will join us for Rock Talk tomorrow at 12:30. Tenby, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
You as well. Go
KFC at 1:15 tomorrow, by the way, too.
Yes. And don't forget, the montage was brilliant by Tenby today, by the way.
It was very good.
It was very good. We're back tomorrow at 12 noon. Big Ticket JG there next year in the front.
Well done, young man.
Good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are.
We're coming.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
There's nothing like sinking into luxury. At WashableSofas.com, you'll find the Anabay sofa, which combines ultimate comfort and design at an affordable price. And get this, it's the only sofa that's fully machine washable from top to bottom, starting at only $699. The stain-resistant performance fabric slipcovers and cloud-like frame duvet can go straight into your wash. Perfect for anyone with kids, pets, or anyone who loves an easy-to-clean, spotless sofa. With a modular design and changeable slipcovers, you can customize your sofa to fit any space and style. Whether you need a single chair, love seat, or a luxuriously large sectional, Anabay has you covered. Visit WashableSofas.com to upgrade your home. Right now, you can shop up to 60% off store-wide with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Shop now at WashableSofas.com. Add a little to your life. Offers are subject to change and certain restrictions may apply.
In the heat of battle, your squad relies on you. Don't let them down. Unlock elite gaming tech at Lenovo.com. Dominate every match with next-level speed, seamless streaming, and performance that won't quit. And push your gameplay beyond limits with Intel Core Ultra processors. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel Inside. Maximize your edge by shopping at Lenovo.com during their back-to-school sale. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. A treasure trove of bananas has been stolen, and it's up to Donkey Kong and his buddy Pauline to get them back. This unlikely duo is going on a world-smashing adventure, using DK's destructive abilities to explore an underground world, and the power of Pauline singing to activate wild transformations. Donkey Kong Bonanza, available now. Rated everyone 10 and up, only on Nintendo Switch 2. Game and system sold separately.
The 2025 NFL season is underway. Don't miss your chance to be a part of the action. Tickets to all regular season games are on sale now. Be there live to support your favorite team. See every epic showdown, every classic rivalry, and every primetime game. 17 games for all 32 teams. Visit NFL.com/tickets to purchase tickets today. Verified tickets are available through the NFL Ticket Network, including Ticketmaster, SeatGeek, and Sports Illustrated Tickets.